Announcement. Remember, it was announced today that Koseff will step down as CEO of Investec Bank in October. He co-founded the bank 4 decades ago with Kantor and Glynn, who will also retire as the company's MD and financial director, respectively. Koseff says it was time for a changing guard. He spoke to us about 4 decades of entrepreneurship, the postponement of the SONA and the so-called investment strike in South Africa due to political uncertainty. I started by asking him, why now?
I think we've been working on succession plans for the last few years. I think if you remember in November 2015 we made announcements on the banking executives, and I stepped down as CEO of Investec Bank Limited, and we appointed global heads of banking, and I think that was part of the planning so that we could move to the next generation. So I'll be 67 by the time we step down. Bernard will be 69. We're still energetic and enthusiastic, and we believe it's better to do this when you've still got energy and drive that you can help the next generation, as opposed to limping into the building.
What will your role be after you step down officially as CEO?
I'll be a non-exec. For the first 6 months of having stepped down, I'll still be an executive, but thereafter I'll migrate to a non-exec of Investec Limited and Investec PLC, as well as the banks and some of their subsidiaries and associates.
And investors will want to know, what does this mean? What's going to change? What's going to stay the same strategy-wise?
So I don't think there'll be too much shift in strategy. I think we've positioned ourselves as a specialist bank and asset manager. I mean, there may be changes in emphasis depending on where the new leadership and the environment takes them. You move according to also the environment, not just what you think you should be doing. So I don't think there'll be too much change. I think we have a strong franchise in South Africa. We're building a strong banking franchise in the UK. That needs to still bear fruit, and I think we'll certainly give it a chance to bear fruit and demonstrate that we have penetrated that market in the way we believe we should. And the other 2 businesses are well positioned.
Isn't the environment much tougher now? Just looking at banking, Capitec in crisis, Rand traders in trouble. You've had some wonderful years. Are you getting out as things get really tough?
I've been through 5 crises in my career. So the biggest one was 2008, which was a global financial crisis. This environment is nothing compared to that. In fact, I've just come back from Davos, and we're talking about global synchronized growth. Okay, last night the Dow got a bit of a smack, and markets are a bit jittery, but it's had a hell of a run. So economies are growing. South Africa's still limping, but we'll come back to that later. Yeah. UK is facing Brexit, so we've had big shocks. I think we're probably in for a decent season.
Even with the competition here, you've had this niche market, but everybody's aiming for high and also low income, and there's competition.
Yeah, we high income, so
digital.
And we've got a very good digital offering. So we understand where to compete, and we've been working very hard on this over the years. In fact, our digital platform, OnePlace, was ranked 2nd in the world jointly. I can't remember which bank, behind Credit Suisse and UBS. On a global platform, our robo-advisor, they call it a robo-advisor, Click and Invest in UK, was ranked number 1 robo-advisor in the world. So I think digital, we're not scared of, we're comfortable with it, and we'll keep up. We'll keep up the pace.
The last few years, before we get to what's going on now, has it been crazy? Just looking at the markets, everybody last year was saying invest overseas, all the clients want to go abroad, and then the JSE had a great year, and it's like it's become impossible to predict what's going to happen.
Well, that's why you diversify.
Yeah.
So you don't bet all your horses on, you don't place all your bets on one race. So if you look last year, I think Naspers went up by 600 billion rand. You lost 200 billion rand of Steinhoff market cap, but the market still went up 23% as an index. We as Investec were flat, we didn't actually feature. So, but some of the other banks had very good runs. So it depends on where you are. With the kind of tough year that we had, you had a very good year in markets, but you had a very tough year on the ground.
Can I ask you to reminisce for us personally?
Sure.
What has this been like? So you were part of a small operation,
Yeah.
a co-founder. Now it's global. Operations in the UK.
42
you
offices.
are so well recognized. Just tell me what it's been like.
Well, you
I
don't.
know you can't combine 40 years. I don't know where you
Yeah, look, I think, we were young startups. They used to call us cowboys on the hill. Then trying to expand internationally, and lots of bumps in the road. But it's been a great journey, and we have a very strong culture, and we have great people. And I think the culture enables us to attract a certain type of individual, and they self-driven. And know what they want to do in life, and we've been able to build good businesses. I think times we were lucky, we were acquisitive, we made good acquisitions, we made a few bad ones on the way, but we were able to navigate through the bumps in the road. So we almost 10,000 people today, 42 offices around the world. So we've established a proper global business, and I think we've still got some way to go.
And could you ever have foreseen how big it would get?
No, because you go step by step. I remember Ian Kantor, our original founder. We were walking. We used to have an office in 162 Anderson Street. We were walking back from the Carlton Centre, where we used to go for meetings. And he said, one day we'll be like Salomon Brothers. I said, what rubbish are you talking? Salomon Brothers were what Goldman Sachs is today, were then, until they got fined for rigging the treasury markets. And I think they landed up somewhere in Citibank. But I thought, no, this guy's talking rubbish. I mean, we just here lending money to doctors and accountants. How are we going to be like Salomon Brothers? Well, maybe we're not like Salomon Brothers, but we've established ourselves on the global platform.
Does the vision get bigger and bigger as you go along, as you realize, we've done that, we can achieve
Yeah, that's what incrementalism is about, is, you go in small steps, and as you reach it, you stretch. So strategy is always about, we're managing almost $250 billion around the world. When someone said they managed $250 billion 20 years ago, I said, wow. So, say, now how do we get to 500? Those are the kind of things. We're making operating profit of £600 million. How do we get it to $1 billion? It's those things that, you really want to be ambitious for your people, and they want to stretch. They also want to grow and achieve. So that's how you do it. And there are lots of bumps in the road where you get knocked off and you have to come back.
You've watched South Africa change as well while you've been in leadership. Has the last few years been tough? A white CEO, everybody asking from every company, what have you done to aid transformation, to be part of the new South Africa? Do you feel Investec has done well?
So I think what we do is we hire a lot of young people. Probably, we don't compromise on quality. 60-70% of the youngsters we hire are probably African, and because they're coming through the private schools and the universities, and otherwise we wouldn't hire them, and if they weren't of the right quality. And I think you're starting to see it in our racial makeup, and that is a South African issue. Diversity is an international issue. That's women and men, and we're seeing a lot of women come through. So when I went to university, I qualified as an accountant in 1975. I had 2 women in my class, no African people. Today it's a totally different makeup as to what is coming through. So, we hire 300 in South Africa, 300 young graduates a year, and some of them stay with us for a long period of time. So, I think that if the education system is right, and you keep teaching people in the right way, you'll see that the pool will change completely.
And what about the very uncertain politics? Has that been difficult for you?
Yeah, the political uncertainty over the last, probably last 4 years, 5 years, and the rhetoric that one has had to deal with, has not been great. Our attitude is, we understand taking advantage of opportunity, put our heads down and do the best we can on the ground and continue to build our business. And, we know that in time things will shift. I mean, there was a time when we thought, we're going off a cliff here and we're not going to come back. And I think that, the December election was probably one of those moments where it was a little bit binary as to what happens. And I think, I'm very happy with the outcome. And I'm happy with the potential path that we're on as a country, because once we got economic stability, once we've got policy stability, then you start getting economic growth again. There's stuff we need to do. I don't agree with everything that the ANC come out with their policies. A lot of stuff I think takes away economic growth. But I think we can work that through with them, as long as, you've got people who are prepared to listen and have a dialogue. And I think that's the beauty. When we were at Davos, the South African team was very together. It wasn't like last year or the year before, where it was, we're South African, but we want to hide. We were proud again. And that was like on the Madiba days when you were proud. So I really believe that the energy is there, and that what we need is clarity, we need policy certainty, we need political stability, and we need things to start happening. We need all this anti-corruption stuff to start taking root.